Hey everybody, and welcome back to Josh's Smart Home. Today we're going to be talking about a camera that really caught my eye, and it may be the only outdoor camera you ever need. This is the Reolink Trackmix POE. If you're looking for comprehensive outdoor surveillance, this might be the answer. It has dual lenses, auto tracking capabilities, and the ease of power over Ethernet plug and play connectivity. But is it really the solution for you? Stay tuned, we're going to find out. If you're new to the channel, I just want to let you know I've been building out my smart home for about 10 years now, and I want to share with you what I've learned along the way to make your home smarter. I also need to let you know that Reolink did provide this camera free of charge to me, but they're not monitoring anything I say, and everything is my fair and honest review. So let's get to it. We're going to start by getting this thing unboxed. So right on top, you have the reading materials. Don't usually use those too often. And we have a little box. Let's see what we got in here. We have some connection pieces and an Ethernet cable, as well as some screws and other hardware. And next up, it looks like we're at the camera. So we pull that out, and this thing is solid. Oh my goodness. It's got some weight to it, but definitely some really good hardware. This is really nice. A really good first impression. Really surprised by just how solid it is and how simple with that one connection with the Ethernet cable. This could really do some great surveillance for you. We're going to do one of my favorite parts, removing the cover here. That was a good one. So what exactly is the Reolink Trackmix POE? Well, as its name suggests, it is power over Ethernet. So that means that all you need to do is run an Ethernet cable directly to the camera and run power through it from your router or from your switch, and you can power up your camera that way. Just one cable. It's not connected to Wi-Fi, so stability is amazing. But the real magic is in this dual lens. It's amazing. It's a wide angle on the one and a telephoto on the other, so you can really zoom in, but you don't lose the context. So you have that wide angle view, so if something happens outside of where it's zoomed in, you don't miss it. It's a pretty neat feature, and it rotates. So you can put this, say, on the corner of your house, and it can rotate around and cover, 270 degrees if you put it in the corner of your house, and you wouldn't have to have multiple cameras facing in different directions like I've installed in my house. You can do it all with this one camera. And I want to talk about a couple more awesome features before we go into the full demo of the camera. And the next one is the AI detection on this thing. People, vehicles, and animals. It's pretty neat how you can have that in addition to the two-way audio that's part of this camera. So if you need to communicate to someone that's there, maybe it's your child, or maybe it's an intruder, whoever that might be, you can communicate to them right through the camera. It's pretty neat. And there's a lot of flexibility with storage for this camera. Not only can you use a micro SD right on the camera, but you could choose to use the Home Hub or even the Reolink NVR or another solution altogether. It provides the RTSP feeds, so you can use this. You can, hook up something with Home Assistant. And not only is it compatible with Home Assistant, it's also compatible with Google as well as Alexa, Amazon's assistant. So Google Home, or if you have Amazon's assistant, this camera will work for you as well. But if you're a real power user, you're probably looking at Home Assistant. Super compatible with Reolink cameras, and I believe they're a platinum level integration at this point because they just work so awesome with Home Assistant. And one thing I want to make sure I don't miss is the fact that with all those storage options you have, you don't need to pay any fees. So you don't need to worry about paying any monthly subscription fees or any other fees for that matter. You can set it up, you can own it, and it's yours to do with what you want. And not only does it come with all these features, but I like the worm tips. I know there's other people like Paul Hibbert who really like the don't use if seal is broken or don't accept if the seal is broken, but the worm tips are where it's at for me. And the last thing I want to talk about before we get to see it in action is the app for the Reolink. And as always, it's super snappy. And with this camera, you can go ahead and utilize the motion areas as well as the blackout areas. So you can block out, a certain area if you want to. Maybe you have something sensitive there that you don't want to be recording. You can do that right with this camera. One of my favorite aspects of the Trackmix POE is the PoE part, the power over Ethernet. It's so simple. Just this one cord plugged in, and that's all it needs to work. You don't have to worry about having a power line, an electrical cord run anywhere. Just this one power over Ethernet cord, and it's good to go. It can be plugged right into an NVR or your switch or other power over Ethernet provider. And when you set it up in the Reolink app, it's super easy. You scan the QR code on the camera and it adds it, and you can customize it from there. It is so simple setting this thing up. Now let's see how it does. All right, now let's talk about the dual lens and dual tracking. This is where the Trackmix really shines. And as you can see, I set it up out here by the pool. So I'm gonna have it track me as I walk around the pool area. The wide angle gives you the full picture, while the other camera is able to zoom in and track the subject. And it doesn't matter if it's a person, a pet, or a vehicle. It can rotate and track around the area so that you know exactly what's going on in your home. And this could be an intruder, or maybe you just want to see what your pet's doing. Either way, it doesn't matter. This thing can track it. It virtually eliminates having any blind spots because it tracks all around. This is a pretty large area that I'm just walking around, and it's tracking me with no problem at all. It's incredibly smooth, and I've had all kinds of things tracked, and it doesn't matter if it's quick moving or slow. It can keep focus and make sure that it's the star of the tracking image. I will say that I found the tracking to move a little bit slow on some of the original settings, but you can adjust those right in the app, and it's super simple to do, and it provides great tracking once you speed that up. Security cameras are only as good as their night vision, and I'm in a pitch black room, and this is what it looks like with the infrared, which is really a good standard basic surveillance, but it gets even better. You have these powerful integrated spotlights, and they can light up the area based on motion, which not only identifies the subject and makes it very clear who they are with crisp detail in pitch black environments, but it's also a deterrent for burglars or other unwanted situations when the spotlight comes on them as soon as they enter the area. I should also mention that you can customize the spotlights so they turn on with that motion, or they can turn on at a certain time and just stay on to keep that area well lit at your home or business. And there's also an integrated siren. So if you have those unwanted visitors, they can trigger the siren and you can have that going off, or you can have it integrated with your smart home. So it's up to you how you want to use it at night. So now that we've gone over the features and seen this thing in action, let's talk about the pros and the cons of this camera. Obviously, the star feature are these dual lenses and the dual tracking here we have, where it can, spin and move up and down as well. So those are the star features, but there are so many more positives with this thing. Another one is something we talked about with the Ethernet, the power over Ethernet. So you only need one cable ran for this whole camera for power as well as the connection, and the awesome night vision this thing provides. That's the third thing on my list that is really awesome about this camera. You have the no subscription fees with the local storage, and the two-way audio that this provides. You can speak directly to the person on the camera right through your Reolink app. And I want to say the build quality of this thing is superior. It's an outdoor camera, but it is solid as well. So not only is it waterproof, that you can store it outside and mount it outside, but I really think it's going to last a long time. It feels like a metal case here, definitely really heavy and sturdy. So I think it's going to be a really good long-term quality camera. So now let's get to the cons. The major con for this camera is back to the Ethernet. It is power over Ethernet. So if you don't have an Ethernet line ran to where you want this camera, you're going to have to run it to use it. And if you don't have another port available on your power over Ethernet router or switch, you're going to have to take care of that as well. So the power over Ethernet is a potential complication if you're looking to install, one of these, or as an odd item in your house where it doesn't mix in with the rest. But if you're used to running the power over Ethernet and you have a bunch of cameras already, or maybe a couple cameras, and you're adding this into your configuration, that's probably not a huge concern for you. But just want to make sure that you're all aware of that. That is one of the considerations. The other thing is the pan and tilt could be a little bit quicker in my opinion. It moves at a decent rate, but there are times where it seems like you could get outside of its scope if you're moving quickly and you're not far away from the camera. So this is what the default looks like, but you can speed it up and get something that looks like this. So those are the major cons that I saw as I've been testing it out. So who is the Reolink Trackmix POE for? I'd say it's for anybody that has a larger property and wants a single camera to cover a large area, or maybe you have a unique area that's on the corner of a house that you want to be able to see all the way around the corner in both directions, be able to zoom in. Maybe it's your driveway, your backyard, your side yard. Maybe you have a pool area that you want to keep an eye on the kids and you want to be able to zoom into that. There are a lot of instances where this makes a lot of sense in a residential setting, but it also makes tons of sense in a small business. So if you're a small business and you're not looking for recurring fees to monitor your place of business, and you can run power over Ethernet, this is a really good contender for your business. So those are the instances where I think this camera makes the most sense. If you're serious about outdoor security and you're willing to run one power over Ethernet cable, then this camera is a serious powerhouse that you have to consider. It definitely has a lot of awesome features that I've talked about, and I'm just thinking about all the different options. This could really be the single camera that you need to monitor almost every or possibly every portion of the outside of your property. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you'd be interested in this camera or what cameras you're most interested in. I love hearing from you guys. Also, if you could hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed, it really helps me out and it'll make sure that you don't miss future smart home videos and other smart home tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.